Hi, I'm Deb Newmeyer. I've served on the Lutheran Foundation board for 9 years now. I agreed to serve on the Lutheran Foundation board because I saw it as a way that I could contribute my time and efforts in a God-pleasing way to help others. I think the Lutheran Foundation board's greatest accomplishment is twofold. One, managing the foundation's funds effectively, even through some really tough economic times. And then two, using those resources in the best way to promote and encourage change, both within our congregations and also in the community. I think the Lutheran Foundation's greatest challenge is to determine how to make a lasting or long-term impact both in our churches and within our community. I think in the 9 years that I've served on the board, we've tried to focus in more on what can we do that would make a positive difference in people's lives, and not just for one day or for 1 year, but have a lasting impact. My advice for future boards would be to remember and consider the original mission of our forefathers and congregations when they started Lutheran Hospital. They saw a need in the community, and they not only met that need, but they also provided a way to witness to others, whether it was through the use of chaplains visiting patients and families in the hospital, or a Bible in a bedside drawer. It was a wonderful way to reach many people and touch so many lives. I hope that future boards and our congregations ask, how can we use the Lutheran Foundation today to meet vital needs in the community, to provide opportunities for witnessing to those both inside and outside our churches, to provide needed services and demonstrate the love that Christ showed to others. How can we look beyond ourselves and make a difference? I think the greatest thing we can do as a foundation is to follow Christ's lead, reach outward, equip ourselves to be witnesses for Christ, and always seek opportunities to help those in need. After you do something for 9 years, you certainly miss things, be it out of habit or familiarity, or just because you miss them. And I will miss working with all of the board members as well as the Lutheran Foundation staff. I consider them friends. And as well as the many people I came into contact with over the years doing the board's business. It's been a wonderful group of people to work with. It's been a privilege to serve on the Lutheran Foundation board. It's been a mind-broadening experience for me, as well as helped me grow spiritually. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. God bless.
My name's Heidi Adair. I've been on the board for 9 years, so that means I would have started serving in 2005. I really didn't know what to expect. 9 years ago, at the time that somebody called me and asked me if I was interested in serving, I didn't know a whole lot about the Lutheran Foundation and what it did. I was, busy working in my career and raising, small children at the time, and just thought, oh, well, this will be kind of an interesting thing to try. I'll be happy to serve. The most exciting accomplishment for me to have been involved with was the forming of the Lutheran School Partnership Organization. And I've really felt like I got to see the hand of God working through that. When we originally started that goal of starting that organization, one of the goals was enrollment growth in the Lutheran schools. We had no idea that the voucher program was going to come along, or scholarship granting organization opportunities were going to come along, but there was an organization in place, on the ground, staffed with people ready to figure those things out. The greatest challenge that I would say, from my perspective, has been trying to accomplish the goal of being more focused in their grant making. We've spent a lot of time, years in fact, trying to figure out what more focused grant making looks like. And I would say that we're not even through that process yet, still working through it. It will be exciting to see, as the board continues to work on that, what that more focused grant making looks like. It has been a tremendous faith-building experience for me to serve on the board. As I said earlier, when I joined the board, I really had no idea what the Lutheran Foundation did. And when you see all of the organizations that foundation supports, it's amazing. When we're living in our day-to-day world, watching the news, it seems like we just are bombarded with all the negative things that are happening around us. But when you're on the foundation board, you get the opportunity to kind of see what's going on in churches, schools, Christian organizations, community organizations from a more global perspective than you would get if you're just, walking through your life going day to day. And when you think about the staffs of people, the volunteers, the funders, other than the Lutheran Foundation, who are, working and serving the Lord in our communities, it makes you realize what a blessed area of the state that we live in. The future board members should just continue to be seeking God's guidance for what He wants to happen with the blessing of the foundation. And I'm sure that they will. I've seen just such faithful Christians serving on the board while I've been serving. But it continues to just blow my mind that a hospital was started many years ago. A hospital was sold. It created a huge pot of money. We've given away more money than we started with, and still have more money than we started with to keep giving away over the years to come. It is a huge blessing to the communities that the foundation serves, and just continue to seek God's guidance as to how He wants to use that money that's His, that He provided for us. The greatest thing to me that the foundation can do is continue to look for ways to support and fund organizations that share the gospel message, the love of Jesus Christ, because there will come a day when really that's all that matters. So I would just encourage the board to continue down that line of spreading the love of Christ. I'll miss being able to see that global perspective of all the wonderful things that are being done in all the churches and schools and Christian organizations and other organizations in our community. I know that I'll be involved in some way, volunteering somewhere, but I'm going to be just kind of with my eyes on my small world, and I'm going to miss that global perspective. I'm also going to miss just having the opportunity to meet with the great Christian people who serve on that board on a regular basis. I'll miss them all. I guess I'd just like to say thank you to the delegates for allowing me to serve when I threw my name in the hat to run to be on the board. Like I said, I really had no idea what I was doing, but now I'm fully aware of the privilege that it's been to serve, and just thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that.
My name is Jim Reddig. When I first came on this board, I really wasn't sure what to expect. However, I did know quite a bit about the Lutheran Foundation because it is and has been very important to the congregations, to our Lutheran schools, and to many community organizations. However, what I didn't realize is how many congregations and how many faith-based organizations there are in the 10-county area served by the Lutheran Foundation. There are so many needs of these churches, schools, and community organizations that I felt lost as to how we were going to serve all of these. To me, the greatest accomplishment of the Lutheran Foundation is the simple fact that starting with the sale of the Lutheran Hospital for $137 million, and then through the years having expended an amount greater than this $137 million to churches, schools, and community organizations. And then today, having close to $200 million in assets. This has been a tremendous blessing. It is simply due to the great leadership and the board of directors who see the needs of these congregations, schools, and churches. They've invested wisely and given generously to many of these organizations. The greatest challenge to our foundation is to recognize the needs of the various churches, schools, and community organizations, and then to respond to their needs in such a way that we can serve and help them. My advice to future board members is to realize that we have a tremendous responsibility to use the assets of the foundation to the glory of God. We have many churches, schools, and community organizations coming to us for grants, and we need to recognize them and their needs and then serve them in the best way possible. During my time on the board, the Lutheran Foundation has endeavored to fulfill its mission. And that mission is simply stated that we are a Christ-centered ministry. We are dedicated to promoting, improving, and enhancing the quality of life for individuals, for families, for congregations, and for the community. I will miss serving on the board the fellow Lutherans who serve with me. We have on this board LCMS members and we have ELCA members, and it is truly wonderful that we can serve in peace and harmony on this board to serve the greater good of the communities that we serve in. I would like to thank the representatives of the various congregations for allowing me to serve on this board. It has been a truly humbling but inspiring experience. It is a great honor and privilege to serve with fellow Lutherans on this board and to serve the people and the congregations. I thank you, and I ask that the good Lord would bless you in your congregations and bless the Lutheran Foundation in the days and years to come.
My name is Kim Ermsher. I started with the Lutheran Foundation Board in 2005, 9 years ago. When I first arrived as a new board member, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I thought there might be a lot of infighting between the different synods, and found it to be very different than that. Just wanted to be part of a board that could make a difference. As a board member, when I first started, I expected to be a lot of little stuff, and it came out to be little stuff for the churches. And it turned out to be a lot different than that, with all the not-for-profits and organizations around town that were applying for grants with the Lutheran Foundation. So it was a lot different than what I was expecting. I believe the Foundation's greatest accomplishment is the fact that we've given over $100 million away to worthy organizations, and yet we have more money than what we started with. To me, that is unbelievable. The Lutheran Foundation's greatest challenge has been who to give money to. There's been a lot of great organizations out there that have requested grants, and it's the difficulty is determining who gets money and who does not, and that has been a challenge for all of us on the board. I have learned about many different organizations throughout our community. All the good that's being done in our area is just overwhelming, and that is one of the greatest gifts that have been given to me as a board member. I would tell future board members to listen, learn, and work from your heart. Say what you believe. Don't hesitate. There's no right or wrong in terms of what we're doing here. Speak your mind and speak your heart. The greatest thing we can do as a foundation is to focus on a task and find the organizations that match our mission and our dreams. As my tenure ends, I'll miss working with the staff, the other board members, and just giving money away to good organizations. One thing I'd like to say to the delegates is that we've got a great staff here at the Lutheran Foundation. We've got a great board, and we're trying to do good work. Listen to them, follow them. They won't steer you wrong. They're going to make the Lutheran community proud. I'd like to thank the delegates for allowing me to serve. I'd like to thank the staff, the other board members, and I'd like to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And thank you all again.
I'm Nathan Fink, currently finishing my 9th and final year on the Board of Directors of the Lutheran Foundation. When I was first asked to consider being a candidate for a board position, the board chairman at that time assured me that it was pleasing work, that it was very fulfilling work, several meetings per month would be involved, and that nobody would be asking me for a donation. As I came to find out after serving on the board for a number of years, service to the board of directors of the Lutheran Foundation involves a whole lot more than that. There is a great deal of work required for $7 to $8 million of grant making per year. I had no idea of the number of not-for-profit organizations operating in Northeast Indiana that were counting on funding from the Lutheran Foundation. It's impossible to single out one accomplishment or any one grant as being the most significant that I've seen in my 9 years. Very proud of the Foundation's activities and investing in small and large organizations here in Northeast Indiana. Investing in our congregations and schools has been significant. I think the thing that pleases me the most of my recent years on the board is simply the strategic planning that we've undergone. We've become much more focused and intentional with our grant making. The concept of investing versus simply writing checks. Our new focus on mental health, I think that's been a significant accomplishment of the staff and the board of directors. Well, the greatest challenge involved in being a board member is simply discerning. There are more requests than the Lutheran Foundation has dollars for funding. And that is the hardest thing when the board of directors reviews a grant and needs to decline. It means a great deal to me personally to have the opportunity to serve on the board and even serve as its chairman. It's a fantastic opportunity that I've had to serve my Lord in this capacity, to follow in the footsteps of the visionary leaders who founded the organization and set it up for the success that we are enjoying today. To the future board members of the Lutheran Foundation, I simply ask that you continue to seek God's will as you deliberate over decisions and grant making, and don't be afraid to take a risk. The greatest thing that we can do as a foundation is fulfill our charter, which is to make a difference in Northeast Indiana by working with our member congregations to spread the good news of Jesus Christ, to improve the spiritual and mental and physical health of Northeast Indiana. That's our mission, and that is the greatest thing we can do. Well, I cannot believe how quickly my 9-year term has gone by, and I'm certainly going to miss all the great people, my fellow board members, the staff. As a board member, you're treated so well here. You come to a meeting and they provide M&Ms, for goodness sake. I'm going to miss the work, and I'm going to miss simply being plugged into our 96 congregations and all the not-for-profits in Northeast Indiana that we're associated with. But it's been a blessing to serve 9 years, and I'm certainly going to miss serving on this board.